Welcome back to the channel, you guys, and obviously we've been getting some work done on this thing around here. I say we because I did have a couple friends come over and help me with the Bondo and the paint work on this thing. I will be totally honest, guys, I don't have the patience for that. I don't have the eye for that, and those guys really helped me out to get this thing looking way better. It's got up at 5 a.m., been out here for a few hours now, and sun's starting to come up. It's gonna be a great day, and it's even a better day because I'm hoping by the end of today, this thing's gonna be sitting on its feet. It probably won't be 100% complete. I'll probably have some interior stuff still to do. I don't know if I'll get the windows done. Some of the, like these pieces here on the side, that's gonna take me a little time, but we're gonna be really, really close by the end of the day today. The little gold accents in different places that the car has, the movie car and mine, they really just make a big difference. The guys that I had help me paint it, they were just begging to do something other than just the satin black. They want to do something crazy, some flames or some pinstriping or something. But it was like talking them off the ledge, man. I'm like, no, we just got to make it look like the car. We got to make it look like the car. So after a little convincing, that's what we did. I'm super happy we did because it's turning out so freaking cool. It did take 3 different paint jobs to get it to look the way we wanted it to look. And what I like about it right now is there's sometimes when you look at it from a certain direction and you're like, oh, the paint's a little light right there. So you walk up to it and then it looks good. And then, you know, it just, I guess what I'm saying is it hides the imperfections by being imperfect in a way. Like it's not gloss, it's not flat, it's somewhere in the middle. If you want to call it satin, that's probably a good color or a good sheen for it, if you will. But then like on the back side of the panels and with some of the suspension components, we did those flat just to kind of give it a little something different rather than all being the exact same color. We did change a few different blacks here and there, nothing really wild though. I've got the roof over here, just got those, the wing mounts mounted up on there, and I've got the jetpack, it's mounted up on there. Got to do all the little, the afterburner looking pieces in there, all the machine pieces in there. But it's really cool, guys, because over here on the floor and on this table right here, there was just parts everywhere. And now there's almost nothing over here. So that's really good news. Just overall super, super happy with it. Well, enough talking about it. Let's get to work. As I'm putting together this jetpack, at least that's what I'm calling it, for lack of better terms. And I wanted to show you guys some of the hardware. It's the attention to small detail for me that just makes a big difference. And this is exactly why I love having my camera guy who's not here. I got you all on a tripod for this exact reason, because it's difficult to film and build a car like this because I set my stuff down and I don't know. Now I gotta go find my Alleners that I just had, but I set up a tripod and I somewhere set it down. All right, we're back in business. As I'm doing final assembly, all of my bolts are gonna have these like dress up washers. Not focusing real well, but I'll bring you over here. So I've got some smaller ones, I've got some larger ones. I have some of them in black, like right here. I just think they look cool. I've got some of them in blue that'll be on the interior, just to kind of go with the lights. Little things like that make a big difference to me. And I just wanted to show you guys, as I'm doing this final assembly, now's the time that we'll be doing kind of these, nice little final touches on things. I've already got dirt on my face and I'm just getting started. But I also wanted to show you guys too that it's kind of hard to see there in the light, but I actually went and painted these struts with the same color as the car. They were already black, but again, just attention to detail on the small stuff. I just took an extra minute and went ahead and did that as well, and they turned out really nice. All right, so before I put all of these pieces on the Batmobile, they're just mild steel, and I want them, they're for the afterburner, so I want them to have like a look like they've been on fire before, or at least, taken some heat. So before I clear coat them, I'm going to take a torch and I'm going to try and heat the tips of them up just to kind of give it that, that afterburner look, a little bit more realism. So attention to small details. It's going a lot slower than I thought, but it looks like at least it's starting to get there. Not too bad. Right now I'm going to try and get the roof on top. It's kind of heavy and kind of awkward, and most importantly, I don't really want to go messing up all my paint at this point. So I'm going to try to get the skid steer, build a little jib, and set it up there. Might have to have the wife help me for a second, but that's the plan now. All right, so against my better judgment here, what I've decided to do is I got a skid steer, I got a 4x4 clamp to it, so I'm just going to use that as my jib, and then I put a couple pieces all thread through here. I'm hoping that I can lift it up, set it right up on there, because again, it's more awkward than it is heavy. I'm gonna put you on a tripod and we'll just see how it goes. Nerve-wracking, but it worked. I just got to finish position it, over the mufflers and stuff like that, or the exhaust tips. What am I talking about? This thing has no mufflers. Wings are on. I was waiting until I got those on, so that way I could reach them better, getting in here before I do the wheels and tires. I think I'm going to go ahead and do the jetpack, get all that stuff done just for room, so that way I can reach everything easier. And then I'm going to jump on to mounting up the rear wheels and tires. After that, I'm gonna get it moved around, clean the shop up and stuff a little bit, and then it's really just interior work. I mean, I'm really, really close to having all the outside done. I'm sitting here looking around my shop and I just don't see any parts, so that means I've got to be getting close, right? But check it out, it's looking good. The wings turned out sick, the hardware looks cool. I did, on the car where there's some black bolts, I put the black ones on there, but then I had a little issue getting it to focus. But then I decided to break it up here where there's some of the chrome stuff, do some chrome bolts. But yeah, it's coming along. It's pretty unreal seeing a Tumbler sitting in my garage right now. I mean, I know it's been sitting in here, but you know what I mean. It's a lot closer to being a Tumbler. Well, unfortunately, we just had something bad happen and I didn't catch it on camera. I didn't think it was very exciting to put the wheels and tires on, so I didn't film that. And wouldn't you know it, one of my jack stands kicked out and it freaking scratched the shit out of this. I'm going to try do some touch-up paint on it first and see what that looks like, but man, that really sucks. At this point in the video, I think it's appropriate for me to tell you exactly what I was trying to accomplish with this build. It wasn't to build the best Tumbler out there. It wasn't to build a perfectly identical screen replica. It was to build the best one that I could and put my own little twist on things here and there. To challenge myself to build it by hand, not have it built for me, not to buy one. So I just want you to keep that in mind. I know that it's not the best one out there. I'm sure there's far greater ones out there. However, I didn't build those. I built this one. And that's what I set out to do. I just wanted you guys to know that as you're watching this, that is the primary goal. That's the primary focus with what I had going into this build. I look extremely tired, and that is because I am. We're 3 days away before we head, 2 days away. 1 day away from actually leaving. Tomorrow we're gonna leave to reveal the Batmobile. We'll be revealing it on Friday. So anyways, I'm a couple days away at least from revealing it, but I'm gonna build some ramp extensions. When I go to run the Tumbler onto my trailer, I don't know if it's gonna drag, but I don't wanna risk it. So I'm actually gonna go ahead and extend these ramps on out because it's low to the ground and I don't want to go to put it on the trailer and you know, tear something up before everybody gets to see it at the show. So it's like probably 3:40 in the morning right now. Got up early, got everything marked out and stuff already, so we're gonna get to work. We are about halfway to Oklahoma, and we stopped at the best gas station, Buc-ee's, baby. Now, right now, Buc-ee's, you know all about it, don't you now? And I knew the Cybertruck and the Batmobile on the trailer would be pretty awesome, but I honestly didn't know how much other people would love it. It's just nonstop. I probably had, I don't know, 50 people probably, stop, take pictures and all that type of stuff. It's super cool. I love seeing the smiles on everybody's face. I hear these people are now pulling into it and see it. So I'm going to jump off here, but we're halfway, and so far it's a hit. Well, we just got back from the Power Sports Expo in Muskogee, Oklahoma. More than likely I'm saying that wrong, but hey, we tried. I'm gonna drop in a couple clips for you right here in case you missed it. And then I'm gonna do a full walk around, a full tour of the whole Batmobile.
Thank you everybody so much for coming out. Means a lot, man. I'm really not gonna talk a whole lot about it. I'm hoping the car will speak for itself, and just know that I greatly appreciate every single one of you guys for coming out. It means more than you know. I'm just a kid from the middle of nowhere that's got a dream, make some videos and build some cool shit in my garage. And to see all you guys out here means the world to me. So thank you guys. And yeah, we'll open it up.
So that is the Batmobile. Yes, she is bad.
Right out of the gate, I want to let you guys know that I did not intend to completely replicate this thing. Okay, there's a few things that I did change that I wanted to change. There's a few things that I changed simply for, practicality and budgets and things like that. However, at the end of the day, I built this thing, if you haven't been following along, all by hand. You can look around in my shop in here. That's an Oscar Mayer Wienermobile I'm building right now, powered by a Tesla. But I have no CNC equipment. I have no plasma cutters or plasma tables. I have a plasma hand cutter. I have no CAD drawings, no computers, no anything. It's all by hand. Panels such as this one, I would cut the panel out with either a grinder or my hand torch, and then I would scribe the backside with a grinder and then bend it over. So that way it has this look, and it would require a little bit less welding. I would weld it up on the backside, grind it down, and that's how I made all the armor. Really, anything that you see bent, that's how I did it. I either did it that way or pieced it together by welding it and then grinding it down. And of course, that's the longer way to go about it, but it makes it truly a piece of art, truly handmade. And it's just that much cooler to me that I made it by hand, literally. As far as the specs go, obviously, the movie cars had much better suspension and driveline, engine. But as far as the measurements go, it's fairly close. I've actually never seen, a replica or a movie car in person. I was just going off of pictures and, some of the Facebook pages that people have built them. And I'm pretty certain that mine height-wise is pretty accurate. Width-wise is pretty accurate. The rear, I believe I'm about 4 inches wider. And then length, I'm about 16 inches wider. That is one of the things that I intentionally did. As much as I love the Tumbler, I've always felt like it was kind of a little short and stubby. So I wanted mine to be a little bit longer and kind of have, just look a little cooler. I felt like it was a little longer. Now, I'm not taking away from the movie car. Everything they did is absolutely amazing. I mean, obviously, I think it's cool enough to build, my version of one, but I did intentionally make mine a little longer. Looks, and it allows me to run my engine and transmission the right way. A lot of the movie cars, they actually run backwards. So the engine faces towards the rear of the car, the drive shaft goes through the center console into a gearbox, and then back to the rear end. Not only did that save me a lot of building drive shafts, like engineering, money with with drive shafts and gearboxes. Saved me a lot of money there, but it also, I think, made it look kind of cool being just, stretched out just a little bit. So on the front end, there is, I would call like this part, the spindle. That's off of a razor, the hub is off of a razor, and then there's a couple wheel spacers. The actual channel that holds the spindle, I built that. Eventually I do want to upgrade that, to like more of a heavy duty, cut off axle shaft or something. Just to make that a little bit more solid. It works great for what I'm doing with it now, but if I really do start using and abusing it, I may want to upgrade that, which, that's just kind of part of the plan to do in the future. I had all that stuff and I had the capabilities of building that stuff. So I did. That was a big thing for me as well, building this project. The engine, for example, was an old car that I had, a Crown Vic, or a town car, whatever it was, that I had laying in my field for years. That ran and drove. I had no plans for it. Pulled the drivetrain out of it, dropped it in there. 4.6 Ford V8 is the engine that's in there. A lot of people ask. The rear end. I had an old box truck sitting in my backyard that really, I bought it for the box. I didn't really plan on doing anything with the truck. It did run and drive. So I took the rear end out of it, put it in this. It's an 8-lug. It's plenty heavy duty to do exactly what I'm doing with it. One of my favorite parts on this car is the wings. They turned out so freaking good. All of these, brackets and struts and everything. I made all of these. I built all of these by hand. I didn't, I could have bought something that looks similar to the movie car, but it's just a little bit more, it's not perfect. And I like that. I think that that's cool that I was able to build those. Currently, you can see the rod ends that's coming through here. They are not hooked up just yet. However, phase 2 of this thing, I am gonna have onboard air. I wanna have some train horns on it. I'm going to hook those up to where I'll probably end up having them like either remote powered or with a sensor, because let's be honest, this thing is gonna sit at car shows most of its life. I think it'd be kind of cool, like when somebody walks by, that it trips a laser or something, a sensor, and then the wings move. I think that'll be pretty cool. I built the sway bar right there. It's all DOM tubing. The cage that's inside of it is all DOM tubing. The windows are Lexan, not plexiglass. I know plexiglass is kind of like just the general terms that people use, like when they talk about polycarbonate or Lexan, but it is 1/4 inch polycarbonate plastic. So is it possible to break? Yeah, but it would take a whole lot of work. I mean, you could probably get up there and really kick it, and it would, odds are eventually you would probably get through it, but it's pretty dang tough. And it just kind of really fits that look, having that tinted, glass. It just, I don't know, looks super tough. It's also on the side here too. However, with that being said, it does scratch fairly easy. So I got to make sure I use the right cleaners, on the Lexan glass. I also used that plastic down here. It looks pretty slick. I couldn't really tell exactly what the movie car was using there. So I think it just, I don't know, it looks good, like it's matching and stuff. One of the biggest questions that people ask me, well, here's the 2 biggest ones. Number 1 is how fast does it go? And number 2 is what does it weigh? And I gotta be honest with you, I don't know the answer to either one of those questions. Once this car was built, I really had to just forget that it existed. I put it in my other building and forgot about it because I wanted to drive this thing around and have some fun with it, but I knew that I wanted to reveal it at the Power Sports Expo. Therefore, I didn't do any videoing with it. I don't know what it weighs. I haven't taken it to the scale and I haven't seen how fast it'll go, because my luck, I'd either crash it or tear it up or something before the show, and then I would either have a bad looking, broken car at the show or no car there at all. And I didn't want that. So we're gonna find out though. I'm gonna take it, see what it weighs. If I was going to guess top speed wise, I already had it about 40 or 50, just actually on my gravel roads. And I didn't have brakes at that time. I have brakes and all that stuff now, but at that time I didn't. So as far as the brakes go, it actually has a pinion brake on it. So I took some of my thought process when building this, kind of similar to whenever I used to build demolition derby cars. It has a standalone wiring harness from, I think it's like Simplified Harness or something like that. Some demolition derby guys. Pinion brake, like what we would run on the demo derby cars. Yeah, I just did that driveline like as simple and reliable as I could like afford, and then I knew how to do, and you know what my skill sets allowed me basically. The rear, I don't remember the brand of these wheels, but I actually ended up cutting the centers out of them, making my own centers, so that way I could get all my spacing right, so where the wheels and tires sit where I wanted them to sit. I mean, look at that, it's freaking perfect, man. The gap in there, I couldn't be happier with all that. This car, like I said, is slightly wider than the movie car. It's like 4 to 6 inches, depending on, you know, who you trust and the different forums or pages, if you will. It's really hard to find information on this thing. I'm not really sure why. I haven't dug into, you know, the comic, you know, or Marvel or DC or any of that type of stuff, like movie car, you know, scene. I haven't really dug too deep into that, but it was really tough to find information on this car. That was the information I did find. Well, then just like a couple days later, I would find a measurement or a statistic about it that was, you know, totally like contradicted the first one that I found. So I just did my best that I could with it, and in the meantime, doing some of the little tweaks and stuff that I wanted to do. But the wheels turned out pretty awesome. They're 8 lug. I built a ring, a bead protector, if you will. It looks pretty close to the one that's in the movie car. And then I do plan to put a little you know, chrome strip around there, so it's a little bit more screen accurate. I built this jetpack, this afterburner, not exactly sure what you want to call it. Built it out of an old propane tank. I have actually a video on my page showing me building it. This thing turned out super slick. I had these actually machined for me, but the rest, everything else was, you know, done by hand. I just couldn't get the sharp, you know, look of these without actually putting them in a machine to do so. Took a torch and I burned the end of these before I clear coated these, so it has a burned look. And that is also part of it, right? I want to put compressed air on here, and I also want to actually add something that's going to blow flames out of it. Again, I didn't want to go doing that before the show. My luck, I would test it 1,000 times on my workbench, and then when I went to use it for the first time in the car, it would burn the thing out of the ground. So I did not want to take that risk, but that is something that we plan to do in the near future. You know, this thing is, you know, it's not for sale. I don't plan on selling it or anything like that. So I plan to have it for a while, and if I get a weekend and I feel like doing something on it, I will. Fuel doors are on both sides, just like the movie car, and they're not functional. The fuel cell is, you know, some of my earlier videos when I built this thing, if you guys want to go back and watch them, you'll see everything that I do on there. It is behind that fender right there. It's super easy to fill up, especially, actually it's sitting right here, so I'll show you. I use just this little pump here from Harbor Freight, drop it in there, turn it on, fill it up, absolutely no problem at all. To get in the car, I didn't want it like, so I would have loved to have had my car where it, you know, like the movie car where it kind of goes up and slides back. Unfortunately, even in the movie, when you watch that clip, you can see it's not very good like design. It shakes, it looks kind of like weak and stuff. Like it looks fine, like, you know, quick clip in the movie, like most people don't recognize it, but I could tell. So I was actually I'm planning on hauling mine around and driving mine around, not just doing a couple little scenes, getting in and out of it. So I wanted something a little bit more, you know, functional and reliable than that. So mine just operates on 2 12-volt cylinders with a button out here, and there's a button inside. You know, you can open or close it from either one. So I'll open it up for you guys. It's a bit slow. I'll probably just speed it up, but it works very well, very reliable. I'm gonna turn the lights on inside of it so that way you guys can see it. Before I climb in there, I wanted to show you guys, I'll lower the hatch, but these are infinite off-road lights that are up top, and they have 3 different modes, white, yellow, and then strobe between white and yellow. They're awesome. Notice that some of the clips in the Dark Knight, they would be, you know, yellow or white, or I can't remember if they strobed or not, but I do remember them being yellow and white. But for this car, when it pulls up places, the strobe effect is just super cool. I'm gonna put some of those on my Razor too, so when I'm racing and coming up behind people, they can see me coming. These are also, all the exterior lighting is infinite off-road. I've got them in the front, I've got them, you know, tucked up here in the back. I've got lights underneath it as well. I wanna say there's like 10 lights underneath it. Not 100% complete, on that part of it yet. But I don't think this car ever will be complete. I'm always gonna think of something else that I wanna do. And this is how I am. I think that's how these kind of cars are. I mean, the second you're super happy with it, like, I don't know, that a day later, you're like, what if I did this to it? So let's go to the inside. So to get in it, I have this grip tape on these steps right here. Just like in the movie, he walks up his. In the movie, this part of his goes up. Mine stays. You can see the roll cage goes right here and right there. Also, this kind of looks crappy right now. That's for a reason. I actually want to put a headliner up here, and whenever the hatch goes up, have a Whiskey Biz logo or something up there, something cool that lights up, maybe like a Starlight headliner. I've got some future plans on that, but again, that's just another like phase to this thing if I want to do it. I mean, I plan to do it. That's why I didn't do anything with these wires and stuff, because whatever headliner I put up there is going to cover it. Here's a little view from the top. I've got a charger because it just came from an expo, and it's hooked up to the battery and allows me to have all the lights and stuff on while, you know, it's at the show and not kill it. So I jumped into the passenger seat actually, because one of the comments that I've been getting a lot is, oh, I bet it's hot to drive that thing. Well, it's actually not, because it has air condition. Pretty cool. All right, now that we're sitting in here, it has hydraulic steering, okay? It has a quick connect steering wheel. So normally I just put this in here, and then whenever I climb in, I can get right in and, you know, hook that on. And then brake cylinder off of, or master cylinder off of a Razor. These are Demolition Derby car pedals that basically I just reconfigured to work on this. Now, you may notice that they're not on the ground, they're up in the air. A couple reasons I did that. Number one, the hydraulic steering that runs the steering shafts in the front is actually the ram, you know, it slides underneath it. And then number two, it kind of feels cool when you're sitting down in it and your feet are kind of propped up a little bit. It's almost like, you know, you're sitting on a recliner or something with your feet up. It's kind of a pain to get into, but once you're in it, it's super comfortable. So now I'll show you some of the switches and some of the electronic stuff we got going on. I've got a couple cameras here, and so, you know, obviously the front and the rear, they work freaking awesome. Even though, surprisingly enough, it's pretty easy to see out of. It's always nice to have like a spotter or something with me when I'm getting it in and out of these shows, or, you know, on and off the trailer, or, you know, just in tight areas. But it's totally drivable. Like I can drive it down the road and stuff, and it's really not that difficult to see out of. So these two switches are for the air condition. I've got my underglow. I had to label it because I got so much going on. The dash that shuts off the blue lights and all this stuff. Dome light, so you can turn that on, brighten everything up in here. But honestly, it's kind of nice to have it off and be kind of, I don't know, chilling in here like Batman, right? All right, and then everything up here is the important stuff. All the stuff down here is kind of like, you know, the nonsense. So I'll do like, you know, I got the ECU. You'll hear the fuel pump come on. And you can see it's drawing my battery down a little bit. Like I said, I had this thing sitting at a power sports show, you know, all weekend with the lights and everything running and stuff. So I probably need to put it back on the charger and get it charged back up, because, yeah, I was pretty, we just had the lights running for a very long time, you know, all weekend long. I've got the fans and then the start. So this allows power to go to the starting solenoid, which then you would use this button to actually press it and start it. Why not, right? Make sure we're in park. Kind of cool. And then you can either just shut the fuel off or the ECU off, whatever. Both will kill it. I've got this as like master power for everything. These switches run the lights that are out the front. We'll see if it'll probably come on. It'll probably show it. See them there? This is a temp gauge right here. So if I turn that on, then I have this showing. And the other two, they're just spares for some of the, you know, the more future nonsense that I'm sure that I'll be putting on here. The interior lighting, guys, is by Ravic, and they make blinkers that I actually don't have on this yet. I have the kit sitting over there, and I haven't got them put on yet, but they're all plug and play. So that's going to be a pretty, you know, sweet, simple install. I just didn't really think I needed them on there just for this show, but I'm gonna do my best I can to like put them in like, you know, low profile places because they're super tough, they're very reliable, and I don't know, it's gonna be an easy install, so why not? If I'm gonna be, you know, driving this thing around a little bit, might as well, you know, do it as safely as I can. You may have noticed I put C-Deck in this thing. Well, for one, it actually deadened the sound quite a bit, and for two, it just looks freaking cool. So I've got it on the sides here, I got it where your feet go, and I put a piece right here too, just in case you did bump your knee or kick it or whatever. And I actually do have a piece of trim to go right here that I haven't got installed yet. All right, well, I'm gonna jump out of this thing. Overall, guys, I'm super happy with how it turned out. I'm speechless, man. Whenever I come into my shop and I just get to see it, it's so cool. And everyone who saw it this past weekend at the show, it was the same kind of reaction. It was like, dude, it's a full size. Like, holy crap. Like, I had no idea that it was gonna look like this. It's unreal seeing it in person. And that's the truth, man. It's like, it's cool. If you guys think it's cool on camera, then you're gonna wanna come out to one of the places where I'll have it. I don't know what that's gonna be just yet. You know, kind of stay tuned on my socials and stuff and I'll let y'all know, but it's just, it's so cool, like in real life, to walk up and see it. You know, if you like the movie and you like seeing the car in the movie, it's pretty crazy to see this one in person. Even though it's not exactly like it, it's very, very similar, and it's close enough to give you the feeling like, you know, you're actually in the movie. Well, I think I'm gonna wrap this up right here, and thank you guys so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. I'm really trying to get to the 100K on YouTube. I just want the button, man. Is that weird? I genuinely just want the button. I think it'd be cool. I want to hang it up on my wall. I've got them for the other socials. Like I've got the 100K on other stuff, and got, you know, 1 million on heck, I might even get the Facebook 1 million before I get to 100 on YouTube, and that would just be crazy. I know that YouTube is more of a longer form video, but at the end of the day, I just find myself shooting more short form stuff. I'm trying, guys. I assure you that I'm trying to do some longer stuff, but it's just tough, man, because at the end of the day, I'm just a dude who likes building stuff, and kind of to pile this extra work with the filming and the editing on top of it, it's a struggle. So I am working on it. I don't want you to think it's any lack of trying or lack of effort or giving a shit. It's just the fact that I'm busy, you know, trying to make something more than money, you know? So hope you guys enjoyed the Tumbler build. Thank you all for hanging out with me. Like, subscribe, and until next time, peace.